hustle, struggle every day. We do the most work, but we get the less pay. The lifetime job, but him still bless me through the day. That's why when you see me, you see a smile upon my face. My head up high, salute the most high. Thank you, Jaja, for every day I'm alive. I'm not gonna let this life pass me by.
Blessed Ras King Epk.
Mercy from the Almighty, thought I was a goner. Could you imagine if they had to call the corner? Could you imagine if my people was in Georgia? My empress, she was trotting all through Florida when she...
So what genre would you consider your music to be?
I don't like to categorize my music because I feel like music is art, so it's just what it is an expression of self. But if I had to call it anything, I would just call it world music.
Who would be the target audience?
My target audience is all people, and that's why I call it world music, because the music is for everybody, because it doesn't have a specific sound. Everybody tends to relate to it because they don't know what to call it, but when they hear it, they can't deny it. It's like the sweetest thing you ever heard, but it's still revolutionary, it's still common, but it's still exciting. It's the Most High. It's Emperor Selassie.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So, you hear Emperor Selassie. What drew you to His Imperial Majesty and Rastafarian faith?
That would probably, I would say, His Majesty himself, because I didn't have really any type of Caribbean influence, because that's what a lot of people think. I didn't really even know anybody from the Caribbean until the last recent couple years when I linked up with the LAM squad and we all started moving forward together. But before then, I didn't really know anybody. It was just His Majesty and that feeling that I got from him that led me to Rastafari, because I was born and raised here in America. So I grew up in church, and it was a stereotypical traditional American upbringing, and going back and forth to church every Sunday, and I was the religious, good, church going boy. But I got tired of that. You know what I mean? That wasn't for me, and I wasn't really getting anything from it. So I went on my own search for religion, but in that I found spirituality, and that's Rastafari.
Hold on, give me a second. Let me do what kings do. It seems the cloth that we're cut from has changed, or did my generation mess it with filth and blood stains? Everybody want their nice champagne and private planes, the latest designer apparel with designer frames. In this world that can build up cars, go and explore Mars and call natural burning gases stars. Rasta burn natural grasses, my mind goes far to a place where no pagans are, with no guns, no war. It's just love and exchange, no drugs on the street, it's just food for the brain. That mean no needles in veins, that mean our numbers would change, cause now we're on the decrease. So many deceased because of disease like HIV. And what about the police, like rabid dogs unleashed? So many mothers weep to see the way their sons bleed. The latest news release, no indictment. Roman soldiers protected by the tyrant.
I always was big on lyrical content and things making sense. So even I was rapping in a more urban, traditional American rapper way. So my lyrical content was everything but positive and righteous.
There was a lot of V and H's.
A lot of stuff that I don't even, a lot of that. I was young, not to say that that's a reason, but just being younger and then being raised up with a certain mindset, I just was doing what I was taught and what I knew, and because I was always good at music, still am, that I was delivering the music in a certain way, what I knew, the only way I knew. So I was big on lyrical content, and I used to put that thing together well, but it was the wrong thing to be putting together. You know what I mean? So I cited Rastafari for myself in 2011. Now that transition musically was slow because I didn't make my first real conscious Rasta song till about 2013. That was when I opened up for Chronics, actually that year. Opened up for him twice, but that was the first time I opened up for him. That was in 2013, and that was with my first solid Rasta song. But in those two and a half years when the music was transitioning, it was like still worldly, but you can hear the conscious side waking up, but it wasn't quite there yet. So it was a growth experience. You know what I mean? I was growing in life, I was growing in music, because the both of them are one.
My friends ask me how I stay so lyrical. I tell them that I do my best to always stay spiritual. Not to dread oracle, and Jah give it to me metaphorical, and then I break it down categorical for his people very slow so that they get it. Sometimes
I produce all my own tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really do. You know, I got a specific sound in my head, and because it's not all the way traditional hip hop, I can't expect a hip hop producer to produce it for me. Like I said, I love reggae and everything that comes with it, but I can't expect a reggae producer to produce it for me either, because it's not all the way reggae. It's a mixture of everything. I got some jazz and country up in there too. So the best thing to do was to teach myself how to play the piano, which I did, and then make them myself, which I started doing. So His Majesty's message has to reach all four corners of the earth. We are all Jah people, one God, one aim, one destiny. But the thing about that is, you have to give it to his people in a way in which they can understand it. You understand? So with that being said, they have to have a messenger to speak to them in a way that they can hear it. Rastafari is universal. His Majesty rules, elective himself, light of this world. So we are his people the same way. They need a messenger to give them the message the way they can hear it. So Rastafari for me is personal, it's spiritual, and it's a message that everybody has to hear. And if they can't understand my brethren and my sister, my brothers and my sisters in the East, I carry the message over. You know what I mean? I'll take the torch and I'll spread the fire.
When you write, where you draw inspiration from?
Well, being an African American, because I am an African and I was born in America, so I'll take that title for what it is. I see a lot of struggle in the African American community, growing up in that struggle, you know what I mean? So I definitely would say that's 90% of where I draw inspiration for actually creating the music, talking about the struggle that I and my brothers and sisters come from. But ultimately, you got people of all races going through the same struggle, because it's a thing of rich and poor, not so much color, you know what I mean? But because what I am around and what I was around were people that look like myself, that's who I seen mostly struggle. So that's where I get a lot of inspiration to make my music.
I come from the West, Rasta man vibe you didn't expect. And I'm the hidden jewel in the treasure chest, yeah. I try and tell them what I've been through, everything that I got into. But yo, nobody wanna listen, they just wanna watch a movie while I'm trying to paint a picture.
On this up and coming project, what's a mixtape?
Yeah, there'll be a mixtape coming. I mean, I got an album coming too, but I mean, the mixtape will be ready before.
And any standout song from the mixtape?
Every song is a standout song, because I mean, I feel like every track that I make is a hit, and it'll be somebody's favorite song, each and every one. So my thing would be to just go ahead and just get whatever Ras King drop, because you know it's gonna be fire, you know it's gonna be righteous.
I know you're a part of a group, so you're a solo artist and you're also 1/3 of a group. So the group LAM, Lion Amongst Men, right? You know, tell me about that.
Well, LAM is three brethren, as you say. I'm one of three. One Rasta man from Trinidad, one Rasta man from Jamaica, one Rasta man born in America. You know, all three African.
So it's a trinity.
It's a trinity. Everything is always a trinity. And three different styles, but three very, very neat, hot styles. And when it came together in unison, it just made a sound that's undeniable and unlike any other.
LAM come about?
I would like to say, you know what I mean, that it was the Most High brought us together, but the physical manifestation was just me on groundwork, you know what I mean? They used all my brethren, so I brought them together. I got too much talent around me, you know what I mean? I got musicians that play instruments, I got rappers, I got songwriters, and I got poets and fashion designers, I got people that's good with writing and just all kinds of things around me. So
talent.
yeah, natural talent, bro. It's just coming from every which way. So I had to sit, I had to meditate, I had to focus, and I honed it in and I'm bringing everybody together. That is what LAM is. A bunch of lions that came together, and we're going to succeed, move forward.
I think I'm protected by the Most High. Yeah. I think I'm protected by the Most High. Him, Rastafari.
I know you're working with a band.
Right.
So tell me, how's that going?
That's awesome. My first experience with a live band, but it's amazing. That's the Cane River Band. And those guys are great. The baddest band in the land, I call them. And they helping me. They helping me. You know what I mean? Even though I'm experienced in one way, I was inexperienced in the band area, but I was natural at it. And anything that I don't know, those guys, they help me along. And when you hear that sound, it just magnifies what's already being delivered on the tracks. So I mean, it's really enjoyable.
Where you see yourself 5-10 years from now in the music world?
Hopefully still delivering this message that I got to the people. You know what I mean? Musically, I hope to have established a credible record as a musician. Then people can look to me maybe for musical guidance. I would like to be a spiritual mentor, if it's possible, for the youth, because that's the focus more than anything. There's the kids, because nothing can change. Nothing can change if we don't get to them. And it's like this music that's out here today, that's what they look toward, that's what they listen to, and that's what they set their goals and their sights based on what they're delivering. And it's the kids. It's about the kids. You know what I mean? So hopefully I could be mentoring and just still performing, doing my thing.
So what's the name of this mixtape you have coming on?
Rasta State of Mind.
Rasta State of Mind.
Titled after one of the tracks, Rasta State of Mind, Jah We Praise. I think that's going to be a real good project. It's going to be real good for the people. It's going to be good for the hip-hop heads. It's going to be good for the people who want a more conscious vibe. It's going to be good for the people that just want to hear some good music they can listen to with their children without having to cut the radio down or turn it off at certain parts. You can listen to it with your kids. You can listen to it with the older folks. It's just music for everybody. So Rasta State of Mind is definitely something to look out for.
Where can the audience find you to support your music? Exactly.
You can find me on Instagram, Ras, R-A-S_King. You can get me on Facebook, Ras King, and YouTube, because you can message me on YouTube. I'm always checking all of those all the time. You know what I mean? Just type Ras King.
All right. Well, Ras King, it was a pleasure having you on.
Yes, I, Bridget.
You see me?
Thank you for having me.
No problem, man.
I come from the West. Rasta man vibe you didn't expect. And I'm the hidden jewel in the treasure chest, yeah. I try to tell them what I've been through, everything that I got into. But yo, nobody wanna listen, they just wanna watch a movie while I'm trying to paint a picture. So I can tell you what my life like, and you can sell a book to the world for the right price. About this rapper turned Rasta that crashed on a couple bites.